Hello, I'm John Paul and I'm here at RimmerBros to fit a fuel pressure regulator on this 2002 Discovery TD5. The fuel pressure regulator is located on the rear of the head, quite difficult to get to, so we're showing you an underneath view now. You can see the round regulator body and that's the item, but we'll show it a bit clearer when we're up the top. And you can also see where it's been leaking diesel, it's running down the side of the gearbox there and cleaning the oil off. So it's quite a common fault on these TD5s. There are two sorts of pressure regulators fitted to the TD5 and very easily definable. Here's one of them, which has just got the two pipes on. It comes like that, but obviously what you will do is you'll take that pipe off because they don't join up like that on the vehicle. So this is the two pipe regulator, which obviously has two pipes. This is the three pipe regulator, which has three pipes. Now this pipe goes to the front of the engine to the fuel pump, and this is quite difficult to fit. So you really will, if you've got a three pipe one, you probably need to take the radiator and the alternator off so you can get access to this pipe. But luckily we've got the two pipe one. To gain access to the regulator we'll need to remove the engine cover. So remove the dipstick, and there's three mounting bolts. There's one bolt this side and two bolts that side, 13mm spanner size. So once they're out of the way, we can then lift the plastic engine cover out of the way, and then we can look to the rear of the head and we will see the fuel pressure regulator. I'll show you that in a second. The fuel pressure regulator is quite difficult to get to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the engine lifting bracket. So just 10mm spanner size, two bolts. I'll say they are quite awkward to get to, but once that's out of the way we'll have a bit more of a view of the regulator, so we'll be able to take off the electrical connector, the two pipes, and then unbolt the regulator. This is the engine lifting bracket off, say just the two little bolts in there, just take 10mm spanner size. So once that's out of the way, we can just then go back and we can unclip the electrical connector. There's a one pipe on there we'll have to unclip, and the other pipe, it comes up to the fuel heater underneath the inlet manifold, but I'll show you that in a second. It's difficult to show on the vehicle how all the pipes and connectors go on. The electrical connector is a square block connector with a little, you'll see a metal clip in one side. You have to push that clip in, which just releases the locking mechanism, then you can pull the electrical connector off. The pipe on the inlet pipe it's like a square block, like a fuel pipe, so it's got two little buttons you push in either side. If you push the pipe on a little bit, push the two little buttons in, then that pipe will come off. And then the other pipe that goes onto the fuel heater underneath the inlet manifold is this sort of connector. I can show you this because I can plug it on there, and then all you need to do is you need to push back the black plastic sleeve, and then that will release that connector over that little locking catch there. So three 10mm spanner size bolts all out now. The low one is quite difficult to get to. So if you can get underneath the vehicle, it's definitely worthwhile to do that. And obviously, the unit itself comes out easier underneath than up top. So it's definitely easy to do that. Just one thing I would mention, while you're undoing that bolt, the crank sensor is fairly close. So just be careful not to knock the crank sensor or break the plug. This is the fuel filter. With the fuel pressure regulator out of the way, you'll see the rubber O-ring on the outside of the head. If you take the O-ring out, you'll be able to remove the fuel filter. We recommend you fit a new filter and the new O-ring. Now it's ready to fit the regulator. You've got to put the gasket on. It only fits on one way, so it's not the end of the world. So fit it on, and then you've got to put it back underneath. It's difficult to show on video, so I'm just talking through it now. Put it back on. Make sure that obviously when you put the bolts back through, they go through the holes in the gasket so it is in the correct place. Put all three bolts in before you tighten anything up. Make sure everything's nicely in place, and then tighten the bolts up. So I've replaced the regulator and the three bolts, tightened down to 25 Newton meters. So now it's just a case of push fit the fuel temperature sender wire, and then the two push fit pipes, put the engine cover back on, not forgetting the engine lifting bracket before the engine cover, and then that's it. We can start the engine up, it's ready to go.